Hi guys, Tom from legacytoolworks here with another podcast. I'm here with my friend MatoHill. It's great to have you on the show this morning.
Hey, how's it going?
Okay, so what we're going to do today is we're going to obviously have a chat, just explaining each other's backgrounds. Mato, you're obviously into the adventure and outdoor recreation niche. Yep, that's exciting stuff. Can't wait to hear about it. And I'm obviously into the tool making side. So this is more of a crossover between the communities and between friends as well. And we're going to find out what each other's all about and, you know, have a chat and let you guys know about it. So just a bit of a background into myself. I'll do Mato's afterwards. Of course, I'm a beginner tool maker. I'm from New Zealand. Mato is too. Legacy Toolworks, it's not so much about the end product, it's about what the learning process is. It's more about what I can teach myself and learn from you guys as a community. It's about experimentation and trying new things out, as you've seen on my projects. The reason why I got into tool making, being a creative by nature, I wanted to try something physical, something I can hold in my hand and, you know, just something to be proud of that I can work on in the physical world. And once I tried, you know, my first project, I was effectively hooked and I couldn't wait to start the next one. So that's enough about me. I'm going to hand it over to Mato. So tell us about yourself, man.
Right, so I would say for me, I'm a adventure content creator.
Nice.
Which pretty much means I create anything from photos, video, and what we're doing now, audio, and try and keep it in the area of adventure and giving experiences for people to enjoy. Nice.
So when you mention adventure, you do quite a variety of things, don't you?
Yeah.
Yeah. Can you run us through that?
At the moment, it's more like if I'm hiking or tramping and all that, but the main goal is to bring other people's experiences from what they have through movies and see if they can achieve it in real life and actually like live what they kind of see on TV rather than just watching it at home.
Okay, so basically getting off the couch and living it for yourself.
Yeah.
Is that, yeah.
Yeah, pretty much create yourself into your own superhero rather than watch other superheroes and daydream about it.
Man, that sounds good already. Bloody marvellous. I've just got a few questions for you, Matt. Just outlaying a few things about your niche and what you're getting up to.
Sounds good.
Yep. So, an obvious question probably. How did you start? What got you into this?
I would say as growing up, like you know how when we're younger we like watch movies, we play games, and we just like we feel like we're there. We watch it on screen. Like sometimes the outside just gets absorbed.
Yeah.
And you're like, man, like once the movie's done, you're like, oh, I'm still home. I thought I was in the hills or I was in the ocean or something.
Yeah.
And I just really, really loved immersing myself in these locations, being with these characters, and sometimes feeling like I was these characters.
Right.
So as growing up, I started to get really irritated. Really, I was just like, man, I don't want to be... I don't want to keep playing Ezio from Assassin's Creed.
Right.
I actually want to climb these buildings. I actually want to be able to do these parkour moves, jump around, be fit.
Climb, all that stuff.
Climb.
Yeah.
And I thought, after a while, getting really frustrated, like games got boring after a while, still do.
Yeah.
Movies just seem, I mean, I've watched some Pooh movies 50 times and I'll be like, like, I've probably seen all the Star Wars 50 times and I could probably quote you the movies one by one, but it's mainly because I love the universe, I be in the universe and want to, almost to the point where I want to do this stuff myself and I thought, instead of grinding away for useless trophies that you can't trade in and actually achieve stuff,
In the
why
game.
not? Yeah, in the game. Why not create yourself into something that can do that? Like, why not work out, build your muscles to be able to actually do this stuff, build the skills to be able to do that stuff. And then the location way, why not get yourself in a position to actually go to these locations, but not as a tourist, but like you're living the journey, like you've got a mission to go to, like a Nathan Drake, your Uncharted, your
Here we go with the game references, guys. Buckle in.
like in Uncharted with Nathan Drake, he's a treasure hunter. He's going out, hunting out some either mystery or treasure or something like that. And it's like, what would it be like if life was like that? Yes, you'll be hunted by people. You have to parkour. You have to sneak around. Maybe a little bit of combat. What would it be like?
Lifestyle,
How would it be if you actually had the abilities to do that? So that's kind of where I try and aim my content creating and myself towards. Not something I can go kill people. I must disclaim that. I am not out to murder anyone, but I would.
Get the obvious out. Yeah.
I don't want to be an assassin. Ezio Auditore is a great influence, but I do not want to be Ezio and murder people just for
understood.
contracts. I must disclaim. Oh, that was a bell. But anyway, but I do want to be able to say I can do it. I've got the skills, the abilities to have fun, climb if I want to, do all this stuff.
The active side of what you see on
be able
games and movies.
Yeah, and then the ultimate goal would be take people on those journeys, give those same experiences for others.
Oh, okay, nice. So climbing heights and having fun and taking people with you.
Yeah, that's a gist.
Yep, that sounds bloody good to me. Just another question for you, Mato. How long have you been doing this for?
How long have I been doing this for?
The adventuring side.
The adventuring side, well, I'm just starting to study outdoor education now, so we're like halfway through the year.
Sweet.
Before then, I think it was just like trying to learn the social media side, so then we could actually get the content out.
Oh, okay.
Before then, filmmaking, learning how to create your own stories, get people's emotions.
There's our common ground, yeah.
There's our common ground. Get the stories out there. And yeah, I think that's pretty much where it's come to.
Sweet.
Things like 2012, I left high school after like blowing the teachers away with like the amateur filmmaking and saying it was already like level 3 material, and I was like, oh, okay.
Yeah, I remember going along to one of your screenings. That was a good time.
Yeah.
That was a really good time. Just another question for you. Out of all the adventure activities, what's your favourite one?
At the moment, climbing.
Climbing, yeah.
Like,
I kind of figured it might have been that one.
yeah, I have a thing for climbing. I must say I'm not a good climber. I'm still at grade 16 in Australian grading.
Okay.
Which is like anyone
I'll pretend I know what that is.
Yeah, anyone can get to that climbing. It is easy.
But the point is that you really love it and you want to pursue it.
Yeah, I love it. But I would say the second to that would be parkour. And that is just like being able to evade, get away pretty quickly over obstacles. Not free running, like people like to get things confused, because free running's this
difference.
Flips and tricks out of for no apparent reason.
Oh, okay.
Other than I'm just having fun. Don't like that.
It's good to know the difference.
Yeah.
I learned something. Cool. That's bloody good. So that leads on to, I guess, where you'd want to go with it, and obviously you've kind of answered that in the previous
kind of like
question. Taking people with you.
Yeah.
The whole tourist route, if that's the right word for it.
Yeah, that's the right word.
So leading people in that's actually really cool.
Mm.
What's your greatest challenge that you've had to date regarding your adventure learning?
I would say still overcoming my beginning stages, which say I'm a nerdy guy. I literally, when I was a kid, I want to say the time I was born, but that would probably be incorrect, until like 12 years old. I was going to say 12 o'clock. 12 years old.
That would be a bit fast, wouldn't it?
There we go. Yeah, I literally only left the room to eat, and I'll grab the food and I'll go back to my room.
Right.
And
So you're like glued to a screen.
I was glued to a screen. I would
Yeah.
watch stuff like I don't even know what Transformers, Zoids.
Zoids, oh wow.
Yeah, I
remember that.
That's
Wow, that's going back a while.
That's all I used to watch.
Yep.
Our Cartoon Network and all of that. But the fact that I would literally spend all my time watching and consuming all of this stuff.
Yeah.
And by the time I was 12 years old, I would literally have my first official friend walk over to my house, pull me out of my bed,
Right.
shove me on a bike and say, "You're coming." And I'm like, "No, I don't want to come." And man, biking was torturous. I still to this day don't like biking, and I'm going to have to get into it. But yeah, like that was where I've come from.
Yeah.
And then from there, going to Hagley and starting to walk to, for me, is a big amount, which
Right.
is Hagley to the centre of town.
Back in the day, yeah.
Back in the day,
Yeah.
before the earthquake.
Yeah. Anyway, moving on.
Yep. But yeah, so just been casually moving out of the home stuck content consuming, and more getting out there and actually wanting to do what I actually used to watch, rather than just constantly being a couch slob, or should I say bed slob. It's still to this day is a bit of a struggle, because sometimes it's just like, whoa, what do you want to do? What do I really want to do? I want to lie on this couch.
Yeah.
And it's like, well, I
Just
want to lie
chill
on
out.
this couch, but what can I do that is more productive and actually uses my time effectively? Now that is a challenge.
Yeah, that's
It's a big mind battle.
yeah. You're totally right. It's a lot of the time it's a psychological thing. Mind over matter kind of deal. Yeah. Well, it's great to hear that you're moving on from the whole quote unquote couch slob or bed slob thing to actually.
It has been a lifetime.
Yeah. Or, good things don't usually happen overnight, but, with exceptions. But in your case, it's, bloody good to see, that transition from, watching it to actually building the skills to do the climbing in real life and do the adventuring in real life, that you can, build your skills up and eventually, like you said, take people with you. So I think that's, that's something a lot of people would want to do. They want to improve themselves and work on their physical side. But yeah, that's
Never
great.
get rid of the kid though. I'm never getting rid of the kid side of me.
The inner kid. Yeah.
Yeah, I like to say I'm just a young kid, nerdy kid that is just trying to transform himself into his own adventurous hero in a way. So
Yeah. Man, that's a nutshell statement, I'd say. Yeah.
pretty much.
That's sweet. Yeah, I've just got another question for you, Mato. I suppose the best way to put it would be, what's the best thing that you like about adventure? What's the most highlighted thing? Not necessarily moment, but
Highlighted
could
thing
be a
about
moment.
adventure.
yeah. No,
I
what's
would
the best thing about it for you?
I would say the feeling of achievement, the feeling of actually making a difference.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I think that's different for a lot of people. A lot of people think, like, if they're making a difference in one area or another, for my area, it's actually getting out there, meeting people, but not just meeting people, but taking them on experiences. I think that's what it is for me. Some people might find it in, just like stay at home and stay away from people. Some people might see it as as long as I just help one person. For me, it's more movie like it, where it's worldwide. It's
Yeah.
bigger, dynamic,
Yeah, it's something.
extreme. bring it to the max.
Yeah, in some ways, I see what you mean.
Yeah.
It can be a quite an uplifter to yourself.
Yeah.
And really encouraging to yourself, even sharing your knowledge, and like you said, taking people with you.
Yeah, I mean, if we bring a film analogy, when an explosion happens in the background, it doesn't just affect one person, does it?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
So be an explosion for people. You're going to affect a lot of people.
Yeah, to put it into one context. Yeah, I suppose that makes sense. Yeah. All right. So last question, I guess, would be, what's on the radar next for you concerning adventure?
So at the moment, I'm currently trying to transform myself into getting used to the outdoors. So if I can,
physicality.
Yeah, physicality wise, and now since I'm doing outdoor education, it's like I'm learning to tramp, I'm learning to climb, I'm learning to camp. Well, if I know how to do these stuff, for me, it's a real thing. If I don't know how to do something, it's like a big milestone for me. So if I can learn how to do these little things, like how to camp, how to do it, then I'm more able to go, right, you know what? I'm just going to go take my sleeping bag, go out and do something. But if I don't have the prior experience or the knowledge in that, I will find every excuse in the book why not to. Like, I think at the beginning of this year, on New Year's, I was like, you know what? I'm going to camp out for the night in the Port Hills. I got there, I stayed in my car, I did not even set up a tent. My legs got so numb, and I'm just like, you know what? It's 2 o'clock. I can't be bothered. I'm going back home. And I was like, this is a failure. Wow. You know what? Yeah. Maybe I do need to study outdoor education. At least then I'll get the discipline to just get out there.
Yeah. That's in that way, you kind of had a awakening moment, or a moment of clarity, some people would say.
Yeah.
It really knocked on your door that day, or that morning, I'd say. It kind of was a catalyst for you to say, hey, I want to learn this stuff, so I'm not just trapped in my car and letting my legs go numb. But yeah. But
gotta stretch those things out, man. You gotta stretch those legs out.
Yeah. It's like on an aeroplane, flipping whenever you fly, or even long journeys in a car. Like, if you don't stretch your legs, it can be really bad. But man, that's good. I know we've chatted about it before, but not in this kind of way. And it's great to, share it with both our audiences. So, I guess I'll hand it over to you from this point on, and then I'll finish off. Cool.
Pretty much carbon copy questions. I think you've already answered some of them in your intro, actually.
That's all right.
So, pretty much, I think the first question we all want to know is, what got you started with tool making? Because I know for me, I've known you as the filmmaker.
Yeah.
And just, was it a couple of months ago, coming to you and you like saying, hey, I've got this new thing coming on. I want to do tool making. I'm like, what?
Yeah. It's a bit different, eh?
So that's my question to you. Like, what got you started on that?
Okay. Kind of answered it before, but I'll try and nutshell it for the audience. So Mato and I, we're both filmmakers and video-oriented people. So I thought, great, the digital side, it's, good fun, and, it gets your mental creative juices flowing. But I thought, hey, why not try something physical? So I thought, what's something that I really like the look of? What's something that I could be passionate about or interested in, not just
get in there with your hands though.
Yeah, because doing things with your mind, well, that sounds weird, but getting creative in a mental way in a digital platform, that's fantastic. But I wanted to kind of kick it old school a little. Just do something physical, because
get some metal to smash it.
Yeah. Prove your metal. It's a bit of a punny joke or whatever.
Iron sharpens iron.
Iron sharpens iron, yeah, all that stuff. Yeah, so I just wanted to say, hey, I've always, well, since a young kid, you know, boys will be boys. You like, you know, weapons and knives and guns and all that stuff for the most part. But for me, I didn't see it on a surface level like that for tools and knives in particular. I saw it more as a craft, more as something like a, you know, thousands of years ago, a Greek sculptor would be considered, you know, high status or something of that context. Because of his skills, his craftsmanship, what he's learnt, his journey he's been on. So for me, I thought, okay, well, I've got a creative disposition already, and you know, I like the look of them. I like the story behind it, because there's a story behind every knife. You know, if it's handmade, of course. But yeah, that was more of my lead into it, and I thought, hey, I'll give it a smash, I'll give it a go, and here I am. 2 months in, well, 4 months in, I'd say.
Oh yeah, I think you've answered the next question.
Okay, great. Move on to the next one.
Which was how long have you been doing it?
Yeah, four-ish months, give or take, a couple of weeks. Yeah.
What's your favorite knife?
Or part of what? Yeah, I wrote the questions, damn it.
Yeah, you did.
Yeah. Okay.
Carbon copy questions.
Yeah, Tom's notepad comes in handy. Yeah, so my favourite part of it is obviously learning new things. So most projects, or so far, the 6 projects I have done, coming on 7, each one shows a different learning curve. Like whether it's, you know, freehand epoxying or, you know, just filing or grinding skills, you know, that sort of stuff. It's
Sanding's quite fun.
Hey, there's an old saying I learned from someone, don't know where it was, but if you don't like sanding, you won't like knife and tool making. All right?
Okay.
Yeah, so there's a lot
still
of that
hope
involved.
for me yet. There's still hope for me yet.
Yeah, there's still hope for you yet, yeah. Exactly, so, yeah, and I think the most satisfying thing about it is when you've got that end result. It doesn't have to look pretty unless you're going for that. I'm certainly not. But when you actually nail the design and you know that you've got it right and it works, there's just something that clicks within you. It's like, yes, I got this. It improves your competence, but at the same time your confidence. And I think they go hand in hand. And showing that to people. And I think one other thing that's pretty satisfying in a funny little way in its own is when you show other people and they can critique it and they go, oh, have you thought about this, or have you thought about improving the handle shape, or, you know, whatever needs critiquing. It's something that I didn't see, and some people might say, oh, you know, they're criticizing my work, blah blah blah, but I don't see it as a negative. I see it as, for the most part, a positive thing, because that
more brains is better than one.
Yeah, exactly. It helps me to grow, and it satisfies someone else's need or desire to share their knowledge. So, in my opinion, getting my work critiqued in a constructive way is a win-win for everybody. Yeah.
I mean, I just gotta say, I can't wait to see your combat knife when you make one.
A combat? Jeepers. Oh, crikey.
It's like the sharp blade on one side and the threaded on the other. Like,
yeah, it's a
CQC knife, I think. What is it? Like, I only know game terminology, so
yeah, it's kind of tricky to cross over sometimes.
Yeah.
The bit on the back is called a sawback, I think. Or if it's just for your thumb, like for grip, it's jimping. But that's knife terminology. It's yeah. I could go on for hours, but I won't. But
yeah, just probably can't wait to see your version of a combat knife.
Okay. When that time comes, I'll let you know. All right. So I'm just making tools for now, keeping it clean. But yeah, that's effectively what I like about it.
I think our variation of that question as well would be when you look at knives, what's your favorite one? Like, what's the one that...
My favorite type?
Yeah, like the favorite type of knife.
Okay.
Like, yeah.
I've mentioned it on my channel, but at the moment, as it stands, I just love it's like a functional simplicity of a big old brutal cleaver. Like, just those big ass, you know the ones, eh? The big square freaking chopping block kind of...
Mad butcher right there.
Well, yeah. Yeah, it's...
This is not a knife. This is a knife.
Yeah, it takes it to a slightly higher level, but...
I think Cloud has one of those. He's this giant one.
the Final Fantasy guy.
Yeah.
Yeah, see, I do understand some of your stuff. What are you talking about? You know, I do get some of your references sometimes, but keyword being sometimes. But
yeah.
Anyway, yeah, so cleavers, a lot of people see them as just, it's just lazy because they haven't cut off the end and made a tip for it. But in my opinion...
I mean, the tip's only for stabbing, right?
On with the weapons talk again. They're tools, man, okay? They're tools. But
I got a way to go.
Oh, it's okay. It's good hearing your perspective on it, though, because, you know, we can engage and that sort of stuff. But the cleaver side of things, it's just a real simplicity to it. It's a no frills, just get it done. It's designed for one thing, just, you know, chopping things up. In this case, I've made a couple of wood choppers, which is cool. Yeah.
I was like thinking meat from the Mad Butcher, but here we
I'd have to get a cleaner grade steel for that. But yeah, that could be coming in the pipeline actually. So yeah, watch this space. But yeah,
if we get any like video footage, we'll just like, whenever I'm thinking, we have like meat, and when you're thinking it's this wood, and I'm like, oh, okay, I should have thought about that.
This sheepish understanding look. Yeah. Yeah, it's what I'm saying is it's a
what Matt thinks
functional
reality.
simplicity. Yeah, what's going on in your brain versus what it actually is. Yeah. Oh, excuse me. But yeah, another design I like is obviously Bowie or Bowie, or Americans might say Bowie. Your clip point, the one that goes down on the
so
top.
like not the music.
No. That's like my second favorite. Just because it's so damn versatile. Like you can make holes, you can skin meat, you can, chop with it if it's, hefty enough. It's really versatile. The whole tool making journey, it's not about I can do this and this one's better than that. It's okay, I've got things to learn and I'm having fun doing it. That's effectively what I'm doing. Yeah.
I will just grab the notes again. Yeah, we want to go with this, man. Like, I'm guessing this is a hobby, or...
Yeah, it's a hobby that I wish was a job. But
you wish it was a job? Oh, that would be amazing if it was a job.
I'd love to learn enough and make my situation free enough to do it full time.
Do you think you would ever start a store, or...
I like selling them,
or maybe like a smithing section, or...
okay, like
I don't know,
production shop or something
yeah. Maybe you could work for Weta.
Oh, that's more of an ideal situation.
Yeah,
I'm not close to that, but at the moment, I'm just thinking realistically. I want to take it, obviously, to build my skills. That's the priority at the moment. Of course, learning and more learning.
Can never have enough of that.
Yeah. So, in the future, I guess I want to... I was thinking in the back of my mind about a year ago, if this did take off and I did get good enough and have enough time to do this.
You mean when you get good at it?
When, yes. Yes, that's the right language to speak. Yeah, I acknowledge that. I'll take that on. So when I get good enough and when things, move forward enough, I was thinking of doing a certain series of tools, like a certain amount of one design, and try and produce things at a, more of a mass level, so I can potentially sell them, but more build a collection so I can prove to myself that I can do this not only on a, I'd say, artisan or artistic level, just doing one thing and then moving on, but I can learn this well enough to repeat the same processes and to improve on them over time.
True.
Kind of like what Toyota did with their Corolla design,
Don't
improving
know
on
much about cars, so
Oh, me neither, but the little that I do know is that they improved on one specific design or set of designs instead of just scratching out the whole board and starting again. So, yeah, it's incremental, but it's where I'm going in the future.
Yeah. I've been asked one time, like, what's the difference between sort of like what makes a Honda not a Honda, and I'm like, I was just like, yeah, something like that, and I was like, yeah, I think that's it. They literally thought I knew about cars, and they really deflated right there.
Nice.
Yeah. But so I think we can relate on that.
Yeah.
What's your greatest challenge so far?
My greatest challenge, I won't nail it down to a project, but I'll be
It
as
could be mindset.
broad as I can. Actually, the greatest one would be making enough time or freeing up enough time to do it.
Oh yeah,
That's a huge one because it's a very labor-intensive, time-consuming process.
Yeah.
In the end, it's all worth it, but from the starting point, it's hard to work on things consistently because life does throw things in the way.
I mean, social media has made it easier, like these days, I can say.
Yeah.
When social media starts kicking off and heading through, I can see that could actually make a way.
Yeah, it can. But yeah, that's more of a schedule / personal thing.
Yeah.
Like finding enough time. But concerning the actual craft itself, the hardest thing would probably be trying to do it all quickly.
Right.
It's not a priority to me at the moment doing things as quick as possible.
Yeah.
I just want to learn as much as I can throughout the entire project and trying to, I'd say, maximize what I can learn out of it.
Would you kind of like say it's correct to say that tool making is kind of like those old style type of crafts that like it takes time?
Yeah.
You can't do like some of these other crafts where it's like, oh yeah, we're going to create something, bang, bring it out, and you can mass produce it quickly. It's definitely one of those crafts that the quicker you make it, the more flawed it is, and the more mistakes you make, and the more time you spend on it, the better the project is. That.
Well, that's true to an extent. Like in my context, for me, of course that reigns true because I'm just starting out.
Yeah.
And I need to spend time making those mistakes and, refining what I'm doing and trying as many things as I can, trying to make my skill set as broad as I possibly can in the craft itself. Of course that's true. But later on, when I eventually do nail down those skills and make it happen, it will be a natural progression to do things quicker and on a bigger scale.
But you're not going to sacrifice time just to get a product out there. You're going to
not just to pump it out for its own sake. No.
Nah.
The product itself isn't the key. It's what I can learn inside my skull.
Like if we had another example, those like samurai swords.
Like katanas.
Yeah,
and all that.
I've done a
Those
little
fancy
research.
ones.
I've done a little research. Like those take a lot of time per blade and passion to put through those blades. I hear.
Yeah.
Like each one has to go through its individual stages. I cannot quote them because I don't know.
That's right. That's fine. I won't judge you.
But like, what is it, like 5 stages for a single blade or something, and like each one could take a day or something?
Well, back in the day, everything was without electricity. It was all, fuel fired, and they had to use hand tools, no power tools and that. So
Yeah, but they still make them the old-fashioned way now.
yeah, it's a traditional
Yeah.
craft. It's been handed down for in the Japanese case and around that area thousands of years. So it's something that's been refined generationally from craftsman to craftsman. But yeah, for the most part, it is a very labor-intensive, time-consuming activity, if you will.
Only do it when you love it.
Yeah, exactly. I love it, so this is why I'm keeping at it. Just learning what I can and doing as many varied projects as I can, like different designs and all that stuff. But yeah, that's pretty much it.
Okay, so next one. I think this is the final one.
Yeah.
What's the best thing about your crafts tool making?
Okay, the best thing about it, I've kind of blabbered on over it over and over again.
Yeah, I was thinking
but
you probably
it's-
answered this.
But it's great though, because it kind of encourages me and reinforces it. Of course it's the learning new things and the satisfaction of actually getting something done that you haven't actually tried before. New designs, new techniques, things that you were completely unknown to. And the second one is obviously, having your work critiqued and engaging with the community, which is why I'm here and it's why you're here for your side of it. So yeah,
I mean,
that's
the only
greatest.
thing I have in my head right now is Monster Hunter blades and like Final Fantasy blades, and I'm just like,
Yeah.
wow, this is all
Cosplay style.
This is all I can think of. Like, all I'm thinking of is when I get home, am I going to like go on Monster Hunter, use my longsword or my or my like charge blade or something like that, and
there's a guy in the US I've looked up. He makes I forget his name, but fantasy blades, really massive things, like giant bloody axes and massive samurai swords. And
you're going to get into that, I think.
Well, when the time comes, I'll be ready for it. But
you're going to be like the next man at arms.
Man at arms. Oh yeah, that's a good one. I need to research more of that.
Yeah.
But I suppose I'll close up because we're going on 38 minutes almost.
Yeah. I luckily I found out when this thing stopped recording, and I went back onto it straight away. So hopefully we haven't missed too much on my side.
All right, sweet ass. So I suppose you can shamelessly plug your
shameless plug.
Yeah, the shameless plug.
We were going to
it's
get
on
away.
the show, so I don't
I
mind.
thought we were going to get away with that.
Yeah. So YouTube channel, Twitter, whatever.
Yeah. YouTube is pretty much MatoHill, MATO Hill, normal way of spelling hill, over the hill.
Space in between.
No, it's no space
No
in
space.
between.
Okay.
I've
I've subscribed to you anyway, so anyone that's on Legacy Toolworks can.
Hit the subscribe button and maybe hit the bell so you're notified whenever I. Not really. Just bringing anything up on YouTube at the moment.
Yeah.
I'm still building up, but anyway.
That's all good.
Also, we got the Instagram, which is also the same one,
Okay.
but that's my personal channel. But I'm pretty much doing that for personal branding.
Yep.
Then there's Mato Entertainment, but it's all good. I'll figure a way to get that in there.
Okay.
Then there's the Facebook, and that's pretty much the same. The MatoHill.
Yeah.
Trying to keep everything just MatoHill to
just
kind of keep that
simplified.
personal brand just relevant and consistent. But that's pretty much all my stuff.
Sweet.
You'll see a lot of working out and say my course related stuff, and
Well, it's your journey. It's all about what you're doing, man. It's
pretty much
exciting.
it's kind of like what Gary Vaynerchuk kind of says, like document rather than create. When you document, you get like a big category of stuff that people can look back on, and if you just create, then it's like
the
once
sake
in
of
a
it,
blue
eh?
moon you create something. And I think I'm starting to say stuff like content creating is like social media currency. If you're not creating things, there's nothing for anyone to follow. There's nothing to keep people up to date. There's nothing to get people to
engage with you.
Engage and look back on your journey. So yeah, it's pretty much social media currency. More content you create, the more currency you produce. And sooner or later, you can transfer it into real cash.
All right.
Which we'd all like to do that.
Yeah. That's, the ideal situation. But I guess for us, well, you have your own version of it. But for me, it's, the more I can learn, the better.
Yeah, the more you can learn.
Of course, I'd like to, do knife making full time and sell them online, that sort of stuff.
Oh, yeah. There will be a lot of content there.
Yeah. I could be in the garage all day, but...
be in the garage all day, earning your way.
Yeah, it would be. But at the end of the day, I've got a desire to reach people, and even if it's a quick critique or a quick chat about what I can do better or what I could try. Like, have you considered this?
Man, we can see. We can see like next Armageddon, you have like your own little section of book with like all your blades and everything, and people are like, "Oh my gosh, I love your stuff!" Like a
Comic-Con for New Zealand.
Yeah. Oh no, Comic-Con is coming, mate. Comic-Con is coming.
Oh, the actual thing. Crikey.
Oh, no. I mean, like, you could do your like Armageddon here, and then you could probably go overseas and bring it all the way to Comic-Con.
Yeah. Well, there's a show in the US. I think it's Blade Show.
Ooh.
Yeah, I've never been, but I've seen photos, and damn, there's some really, oh man, it's like, it just tickles my fancy. Let's put it one way.
We'll just put it that one way. It tickles your fancy.
It's just, man, there's some beautiful pieces of craftsmanship there, eh? Like, really amazing stuff. But so I'll shamelessly plug myself on my own channel, for goodness sake. So Legacy Toolworks. You can comment below on this video, or you can email me with suggestions or critiques on my work.
I don't think we have any video. Do we have video? Or are you going to put like some stuff on the...
I'm just going to put it in the description box and wherever I can. So
you're going to put some gameplay footage?
Maybe. We'll see how it goes. But yeah, the email for me is legacytoolworks@gmail.com. That's all lowercase and as it sounds. So yeah, if you want to see something different, or you have a suggestion that you'd like to make, feel free to make it below. And as always, it's good to have you here, Mato. It's a pleasure having you on the show.
Being here.
It's good to chat and relate and get into our passions and talk about what we're enthusiastic about. So if you feel that way inclined, subscribe and check out Mato's channel and his links below by all means. I strongly advise it. And as always, bye for now and keep creating. Ciao.